Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to HA After Dark. I want to thank you all for tuning in. This is some pretty big news. Ladies and gentlemen. And it doesn't seem like all of this is heating up. Yes, the super chat or the chat. Super chat. Thank you so much for, fueling this channel and the chat. Everybody is just awesome. And I want to start off by thanking somebody on Twitter. Really, really beautiful sentiment. And just a really wonderful, kind words. This is at Viva Palestine, at Trump 2020. My journey towards walkaway was inspired by an incredible man called H.A. Goodman, at H.A. Goodman author. I was mainly annoyed by the wars happening in Iraq, Libya, Syria, and the stuff we did in Haiti. To protest war, I voted Green, which led me to real Donald Trump. I am voting for him in 2020. Viva Palestine. God bless you. Thank you for your kind words. And it's on record. I've always been on record as saying I want a Palestinian state, even though, I have, certain views about everything going on there. But I've always stated I want 100% a Palestinian state. And my support, I do support Israel, but I also support a Palestinian state. I think that, a lot of people aren't bringing that point up, but Viva Palestine, at Viva Palestine, that's a very, very kind sentiment. And I just want to thank you so much for the kind words. It means a lot to me. So at Viva Palestine on Twitter, thank you so much again for the really kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, am I going to have to start my C-SPAN voice? I don't know if I need my C-SPAN voice for this. Maybe later when we talk about Strzok's off-scope, ding, off-scope, polygraph. But this is Paul Sperry. Paul Sperry is a leading journalist when it comes to this debacle, this travesty. And a Sojourner had, really quickly, a Sojourner, Eric reminded me that a Sojourner had a super chat last time that I didn't see. Trey Gowdy, thank you, Eric, for reminding me again. A Sojourner, thank you. Trey Gowdy stated that, like it or not, Strzok will be testifying before the House subcommittee. He is a government employee, and it is mandatory. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, A Sojourner, you're 100% right. I apologize, I didn't get to you in the last segment. But we have the After Hours crew here. And this is going to be very, very important. Do you want to know what Paul Sperry reported tonight? And he's a great journalist. I really like Luke Rosiak and Paul Sperry and Chuck Ross at the Daily Caller, Paul Sperry, Kimberly Strassel, Sarah Carter. I love Elizabeth Voss at Disobedient Media, obviously. Susie Dawson is fantastic. Love Susie Dawson. I mean, there's so many great journalists. What do we have here? What do we have here? Oh no, I'm reading. My mind wanders like 3 hours ago, ladies and gentlemen. 3 hours ago, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to build this up because it's very important. Paul Sperry breaking in a November 3rd, 2016 doc. Strzok created a fake timeline of the Wiener email recovery in order to have a misleading record for the file. After the fact, for the purpose of covering his behind and getting everyone in Comey's inner circle on the same page. Similar to Rice's January 2017 email to Self, which is hilarious. She was like, Obama said nobody go do anything illegal. So we never did anything illegal. Susan Rice literally wrote, President Obama said, don't ever do anything illegal. That's like saying the people who, held up the bank have said that they did not hold up the bank, and they are not driving away in the getaway car. This is not happening right now. Signed, bank robbers. So Paul Sperry, in a November 3rd, 2016 doc, the second in command and counterintelligence. Okay, counterintelligence, we're supposed to protect us from foreign intelligence services. When you're counterintelligence, you're supposed to counter foreign intelligence services. You're supposed to protect this country. You're supposed to find out how Hillary Clinton transferred top secret and special access program intelligence from SIPRNet, JWICs, and SCIFs and other secure locations within the United States government onto her basement server, and then, gave it to Dato, Platte River. So, breaking, November 3rd, 2016. This is just a couple of hours ago. Paul Sperry, already 2,000 retweets, 3,000 likes. It's going to be 10,000 by tomorrow morning. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is true, and Paul Sperry is always breaking, like you see it on Paul Sperry's timeline, and then like boom, there's articles on it. There are articles on it. So he is legit, like he is awesome. In November 3rd, 2016 doc, Strzok created a fake timeline of the Wiener email recovery in order to leave a misleading record for the file after the fact for the purpose of COIA and getting everyone in Comey's inner circle on the same page. Number one, why is this important? This is very, very, very important. This is very important because you have a situation where James Comey has stated that he didn't hear about the Wiener laptop until it was too late, and he had to write the letter. Okay, so he didn't hear about the laptop until it was too late. He stated that Andrew McCabe never told him about the laptop. So the laptop issue, the issue there is that there are 18 classified emails. Again, outside the US government. Again, in some location it should never be. Again, from Clinton's server, which was already outside the US government. So not only do we have classified intelligence transferred to Clinton's computer, but Huma Abedin then transferred the information onto Wiener's laptop. My goodness, New Ecuador foreign minister today, after Vice visit last week. Mr. Assange must come to an agreement with UK authorities. Ecuador is a facilitator. Well, wow. That's and you can, you know, the Democratic Party pushed and pressured Pence to make Assange's life miserable. That's the Democratic Party's doing. Hashtag run away. But James Comey stated that he didn't know about the Wiener laptop until it was too late. Andrew McCabe has stated that yes, I told Comey. Stated that he told Comey. The IG report says that he told Comey in October, before early October, before he had to write the letter. Comey then stated, well, I had to go ahead. Scott Bigler, live streams give HA kindness Tourette's. Yes. Yes, that's true. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott. Scott Bigler, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. But think about, thank you again, Scott. Think about what's taking place here. They covered it up fair and square. They did everything possible to cover up Clinton emails. They did everything possible, everything they could. They did everything they could. There's nothing more they could have done. There's nothing more Comey could have done. He said, well, she committed all the crimes. It was unintentional. They didn't even use a grand jury. They didn't make witnesses flip and sing. They were not aggressive at all. In fact, when you look at the text messages from all of them, they hated Trump. They wanted Trump to lose. They wanted Clinton to win. Obviously, they were never going to indict Clinton, and we know it was a complete cover-up, a complete and utter cover-up. Which is why I say eventually she's going to get charged with crimes, because people who covered things up are now getting bureaucracy, the same bureaucracy that they used to cover up Clinton email investigation, bureaucracy thrown at them. Paul Clank, I wish I was a Comey Wiener laptop because every girl would be in love with me. I wish I was a Comey Wiener laptop because every girl, that's right. You know what? Wiener was between 20 and 100 women, he said, according to the Daily News. And the classified emails were stored. And by the way, there were hundreds of thousands. And by the way, there were, according to Bill Priestap, there were emails from state.gov, emails from clintonemail.com, the Clinton Foundation. This is a giant mess, ladies and gentlemen. A giant, giant mess. This is a giant mess. And you have a situation where all of this is about to be exposed beyond anyone's imagination. So, number one, James Comey was afraid of leaks In the IG report, he continually references the fact that he was afraid of leaks. And the NYPD and the New York field office of the FBI, there are patriots there. And he was afraid of what they might do. Between 20 and 100 is that we get the thorough investigations Comey's FBI was running. Is it 20 or 100? That's true, Vance. That's the thing. We don't know. It's probably more than 100. The guy had an addiction to this thing. And then we know that classified intelligence was on his laptop. That's why the Office of Professional Responsibility has already gotten McCabe. The Office of Professional Responsibility at the FBI will condemn Comey, will condemn Strzok and Page and everyone else prominently noted in the Inspector General report. That's what Christopher Wray said. When Congressman Doug Collins of Georgia stated that, well, Strzok, the out of scope, he failed a polygraph. Well, it was out of scope, so we can assume that he failed. Do you just let people work on investigations who fail polygraphs or who are not trustworthy? And then Christopher Wray said, well, I'm not going to comment on I'm going to do it the right way. And I can only tell you that the Office of Professional Responsibility is looking at people who are prominently mentioned in the IG report. Hashtag the party's over. Absolutely. Oh, God forbid. But this is so important, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't think my mind is racing. I'm thinking about Julian Assange. I'm thinking about WikiLeaks, and all of this is leading to not only Hillary Clinton getting charged with crimes, but a bunch of people before her. And a bunch of people getting either their pensions taken away. First and foremost, the bureaucracy of the FBI will descend upon Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, James Comey, Andrew McCabe has already been thrown under the bus. Then what's going to take place is that Sessions will have every reason to link legal statutes that were broken with bureaucratic protocols that were broken. So first he exposes the bureaucratic protocols, and it takes time. Then he links all these broken breaches of protocol and procedure to the fact that it is illegal to alter 302s. It is illegal to alter evidence. It's illegal to alter evidence. So if you alter evidence in an ongoing investigation, that's illegal. If Peter Strzok did that, he's in deep, deep, deep trouble. Bigger trouble than even Andrew McCabe is, who lied under oath. So let's go ahead and see that again. So breaking in November 3rd, 2016, Doc, Strzok created a fake timeline of the Wiener email recovery in order to leave a misleading record for the file. To let, after the fact, for the purpose of covering their behind and getting everyone in Comey's inner circle on the same page. So they were afraid. So he didn't have to. What took place with Comey was that, Comey didn't have to write the letter, actually. He didn't have to write the letter. Let me go ahead and plug this in. He didn't have to write the letter. He wrote the letter because he was afraid either the New York field office or the NYPD would flip or would leak the information. The interesting thing also is that they knew, Andrew McCabe knew, because Andrew McCabe keeps saying that, well, no, I told Comey, and Comey says, no, he didn't tell me. So McCabe knew about Clinton emails well before Comey's letter. This is Newsweek, February 1st, 2018. So this is Newsweek, February 1st, 2018. Outgoing FBI Director Andrew McCabe and other top FBI officials knew about thousands of more emails. So she had classified intelligence on Huma Abedin's server. But they knew about it. Got called up to Andy's earlier, Strzok wrote, in a September 28th. Oh, Lord. In a September 28th text to Page referring to McCabe. He then wrote about how U.S. Attorney's Office for Southern District of New York had unearthed the new emails, hundreds of thousands of emails turned over by Weiner's attorney to SDNY, includes tons of material from spouse, sending team up tomorrow to review. This will never end. However, Strzok wrote that no new classified emails were found, but classified emails, according to Judicial Watch, were eventually found, 18. They knew about this in September. A report by the Wall Street Journal cited text messages exchanged between FBI agent Peter Strzok, who headed up the Clinton email probe, and FBI lawyer Lisa Page. Strzok said he met McCabe to discuss emails discovered on a laptop belonging to Anthony Weiner, the husband of aide Huma Abedin. Meanwhile, he's going ahead He then wrote about, okay, so another message is sent by Strzok to Page. He told her he and other agents had to split about 3,000 emails to scan for any potential classified material. But that's not the way it works. He doesn't know what's classified from the original intelligence agencies that where these emails originated from. He's not qualified to say, oh, well, the CIA or the National Geospatial Agency or whatever, or the NSA deems this classified. Or even if he is, there's no way within a couple of days he can vet through all of those emails. You can't do a word search, or generic word search for classified intelligence. Things can be retroactively classified. The texts are sent September 28th. late October. So they knew at least a month before. Justice Department investigating, this is in January 2018. McCabe's handling of Clinton email. This is never going to end, ladies and gentlemen, and it's really, really, really important. So the issue here is, number one, why didn't, I mean, you already have new information. You already have overt Espionage Act laws broken after the July 5th, 2016 press conference. If this was anyone else, if the issue was, well, you know, she didn't mean to do it, doesn't matter. What about the emails? What about the emails from that were found in late September on Anthony Weiner's laptop? That's not only unencrypted, opens the world. And then Comey said, well, you know, he lied under oath. We performed an investigation into Huma Abedin and Anthony Weiner. No, they didn't. He lied about that. So Comey is in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. A great deal of trouble. And just listen and listen to Comey and look and just listen to how he backstabs, which is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So check this out. This is just unbelievable. All right. Let's say commercial first. Okay, here it is.
The Justice Department has come out with a report on your deputy at the FBI, Andrew McCabe. It says that he was not candid in his interviews. Did you read the report, and do you agree with the decision the Attorney General made to fire Andrew McCabe?
I read the report, and I think this report demonstrates the life of an institution that cares about the truth and investigates and holds people accountable. I think the process inside the Justice Department worked well. Where it was tainted was by the President of the United States calling for the firing or imprisonment of someone like Andrew McCabe. That tainted an institution that pursues the truth.
How can he say that with a straight face? An institution that pursues the truth. The guy lied throughout the whole thing, but check it out.
And imagine if that kind of accountability was applied at the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue.
So he didn't deserve the discipline he got, Andrew McCabe?
No, I think the process, I don't have a view on what the ultimate discipline should have been, but this is the system working.
The system is working. Don't you know the system is working? The system is now working to expose Comey as well. The same system that he hid behind, the same system that he utilized. The corrupt system that he utilized. So Comey, McCabe testify. So check it out. Where is this? Hold on one second. All right. So there's a great James Comey. There's a great James Comey, I think it's Chris Cuomo. Oh, no, it's Jake Tapper. So hold on one second. James Comey, Jake Tapper, McCabe. So here you have a situation where he's openly stating.
By now you have no.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's taking a while, but he basically says he's going to testify, no problem. He has no problem testifying against McCabe.
Conference about Hillary Clinton in 2016 in the summer, you said, you didn't say she didn't lie, or you didn't say it's possible she lied. You said you found no evidence that she had lied. Mm-hmm. You found no evidence that she had that email server knowing that it was improper.
Of course he found evidence. He found evidence from Brian Pagliano's 4 years of missing emails. That's the evidence. The fact that the emails are missing. The fact that evidence is missing is evidence of a major crime. When you have all this evidence missing, you have all this, Brian Pagliano deliberately transferred the emails. Brian Schultz, on your game this week. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate that. Thank you, Brian. Very, very much. It's slowly being all just, it's all opening up. This is slowly becoming really the biggest scandal that we've had this generation. I mean, Brian Schultz, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. And to the super chat, thank you, everybody. But this is the biggest scandal, especially if you find new evidence that Strzok was very sloppy. He used an FBI-issued phone to document his cover-up. But here's Comey saying there was no evidence that she intentionally lied. There's only evidence that she intentionally lied. They never put Brian Pagliano under oath. He's the one who was paid to transfer and program intelligence in her basement. This guy was the head of the FBI, and she didn't intentionally put emails on a basement server. She deleted half of her emails. It's obvious, and everyone knows it. All of Washington knows it, even Democrats. That's why James Comey's in big trouble. But you're not, aside from the fact that he transferred, classified emails. Constructive. There is evidence or there isn't evidence. You're saying it's possible. That leaves the impression for people that there might be stuff out there, that there might be evidence that President Trump is under the thumb of the Kremlin. Yeah, but I see that, Jake, because you're asking. Yeah, under the thumb of the Kremlin, right? He sold 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. No, that was Obama. Eric Hebert, thank you so much as always for your continued support. I remember ways back, right when Comey got fired, we were talking about how he was or going to hide behind the FBI. Why aren't there more rank and file blowing this up? It should not take this long. It's true, Eric. You're 100% right. And thank you again, Brian Schultz. You're 100% right. Eric, you're 100% right. But the thing is this, bureaucracies work slow as molasses. Slow as molasses. And they're insidious, giant, reptilian, fat, bloated, slothful entities. They're like a gigantic crocodile that's overweight, just slithering through the mud. The Office of Professional Responsibility had to wait for the Inspector General report, which then had to wait to compile all the evidence. And the Inspector General is now investigating James Comey, and he's also investigating other aspects of Peter Strzok. And oh, by the way, there's a Clinton Foundation probe ongoing. And there was a True Pundit article saying, and the True Pundit article could be right. Ultimately, no matter what, I think Clinton's going to get charged with crimes, but could be right about that specific aspect. Say, well, you know what? There's a FBI agent that was put on the case from Andrew McCabe. Guess who? If that's the case, you think that FBI agent wants her pension? Because if that's the case, the same person that put her in charge of the Little Rock Clinton Foundation probe lost his pension. And the Office of Professional Responsibility was in charge of that. It's basically the one office or the one department at the FBI that uses bureaucracy to defeat bureaucracy. Oh, I'm sorry. We found that you've utilized government-issued phones to implement a conspiracy to cover up Clinton and fabricate Trump Russia. Oh, well, we'll have to take your pension away. We'll have to reprimand you in many other ways, too. And we've documented all your crimes. This way, Sessions can go ahead and link the bureaucratic record to the statutes that you've broken. Have a nice day. That's what's taking. So, Eric Hebert, you're 100% right, but that's why it takes so long. It takes so long because all of this is so sordid. There's some great parts here, though.
There are two different things. I'm not going to talk about the and I've asked myself the same question. I tried to model a certain way of acting, which did not include that kind of behavior, but I asked myself, should I have given them all a speech? But these are grown-ups. These are senior people in the counterintelligence division. I don't want to be too tough on myself, but yeah, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for their actions and their poor judgment.
Speaking of leadership, after you were fired, you say you got a phone call from then made that you have an infatuation with your own sense of integrity. You acknowledge that you have a big ego, but you don't like that specific criticism. I don't understand the disconnect because I think
So this guy is hilarious, but I'm trying to find I'm trying to find the part where he says, yeah, I can testify. I might testify against McCabe if they need that. He throws Strzok under the bus too. He throws them all under the bus, which is hilarious. So hold on, let me just go ahead. Why is it so hard to find this thing? Comey, McCabe, Tapper, testify against. Yes, hallelujah. Brian Schultz, thank you. Eric Hebert, here what we have. So Comey, I could be asked to testify against McCabe. Oh, that's interesting. You ever thought that he could be asked to testify against you, Comey? Ever thought that was possible, buddy? Ever thought that was possible, buddy? Huh? What about Strzok to testify against both of you? What about Lisa Page to testify against Strzok and Comey and McCabe? Ever thought that was possible? You think you're slick? You're not slick enough for the Office of Professional Responsibility. And for all the ridiculous, pathetic, sad, foolish Democrats who are like, what's the problem? It's all about Trump Russia. Where's the evidence? There's no evidence there. There's nothing. There's a mountain of evidence. The best they came up with is she was too stupid to commit all crimes. She was too stupid. She spent her life in politics. She didn't realize that a basement server shouldn't hold top secret intelligence. Which one is it? She was qualified or she's stupid? Which one is it? You can't have it both ways. Oh my goodness, not again. All right, so, okay, finally, can we get to the video, please? Please. Okay, enough of the commercial. Lord, it's still going. Sears, look at that.
If they ultimately bring a case against Andrew McCabe, would you be a witness for the prosecution?
Potentially. I don't know whether the reporting is accurate.
Potentially. What if they bring a case against you, buddy? What if he testifies against you? Then what? Let's hear that again.
If they ultimately bring a case against Andrew McCabe, would you be a witness for the prosecution?
Potentially. I don't know whether the reporting is accurate. I know it's CNN reporting, but I don't know it of my own accord. But sure, given that the IG's report reflects interactions.
Sure. Potentially. Sure. Given that the IG focuses on you also, Comey, and you are prominently named, and the Office of Professional Responsibility is looking right at Comey right now, and Horowitz is looking at the fact that you leaked classified memos. Bob Goodlad had to go ahead and read your classified memos in a SCIF, a sensitive compartmented information facility. What does that have to do with Strzok altering evidence? Because he did it under your watch. Strzok could simply say, I was doing Comey's bidding. Give me my pension back.
That Andy McCabe had with me and other FBI senior executives, I could well be a witness.
You express a lot of horror in the book when public officials or even celebrities lie to investigators, whether David Petraeus or Scooter Libby, Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
So I would assume that you would be upset at Andrew McCabe. I haven't really heard you criticize him the same way you've criticized those others.
Well, I hope I didn't criticize them personally. I think it's very important.
The act, though.
Oh, sure. The act is one I take very seriously, and so does the Department of Justice.
You lied under oath, buddy. And McCabe documented, Strzok and Page have documented your political demise. You lied under oath. You lied under oath. You said that you exonerated Clinton only after her interview. That's a lie. Well, how do we know? Because Strzok interviewed Clinton, and Strzok can testify that you exonerated her prior. Why? Because Strzok deleted 5 references to gross negligence. Touchdown, USC. Touchdown, Georgia Bulldogs. And now Strzok's in deep trouble. He's in deep doo-doo. Because once Lisa Page testifies, and I spoke about that last segment, they're all in deep doo-doo. Because Lisa Page doesn't have any reason to lie under oath. She'll spill the beans on all of them. There's too many people. The Clintons have too many spinning plates now. And everyone sees what happens. See, Sessions is also making an example bureaucratically of these people. When he fired McCabe, when he took Strzok's security clearance away, when he's going to fire Strzok because of the Bureau of Professional Responsibility, Office of Professional Responsibility says fire Strzok. 2 FBI agents fired. Comey fired also. 3 fired. You've senior management who spent, well, in Strzok's case, in McCabe's case, decades. In Comey's case, whatever. I mean, he thinks that he's above the law because he has so many connections. He leaked classified memos in the most egregious, ridiculous manner. This guy is a walking like dumpster fire of just like dumpster fire of just insanity. So let's check this out again. Well, we'll continue.
What's going on so far has been the accountability mechanisms of the department working.
And the accountability mechanisms will investigate and decide all the crimes and all the breaches of protocol that you've committed. Funny how that works. Funny how James Comey relies on Strzok and McCabe and Page and all of them, and they're all going to turn on Comey.
Because it's a department that's committed to the truth, and so it's working.
It's committed to the truth. Then how did Hillary Clinton transfer top secret intelligence? Did she take photos? Why don't you ask Brian Pagliano? Oh, that's right. You didn't want to bother him. You didn't want to bother Anthony Weiner either. That's another lie under oath. Well, he had a pending problem with the FBI in New York, so we don't want to bother him. Oh, okay. Gee, must be nice. Mueller is like, going after like, oh, you stole a candy bar when you're 10 years old at, Alcatraz.
I don't know whether there's a criminal referral of what will happen, but that's part of accountability and examination of what the consequences should be if there was material lying.
But how do you feel about your former deputy?
I don't know if there's a criminal referral. There was a criminal referral eventually after that. Jeff McDaniel 100. They will be confronted with mountains of emails and texts, entwining them all in crimes and be fighting to tell on each other to secure a get out of jail free card. Exactly. And Sessions is a lot. Exactly. And Jeff McDaniel, you people in the super chat say it a lot better than I do. A lot better than I do. Jeff McDaniel 100. You're 100% right. Jeff McDaniel 100, you're 100% right. What Sessions is doing is he is getting everyone to flip and sing on each other. Everything you've heard about flipping and singing. So thank you, Eric Hebert. Again, HA, this needs to be brought up, but at the same time, for some reason, it's sensitive. Doesn't the Constitution say we can take up arms? If they let Hillary and others go, that could happen. Many want to. No, respectfully, Eric. And this is the thing. Theoretically, yes. In practice, theoretically, perhaps not even yes. Because, the tyranny, tyranny is would be an injustice that, Clinton gets off, eventually she'll get charged. You can't continually, she almost certainly won't get off on all this craziness because she has no one protecting her. But Eric, no, that's like, God forbid, like, something, a country we don't recognize at all. I mean, yes, it's slowly morphing into in some ways it's a country we don't recognize, but that would be in the most egregious situation that I couldn't even imagine. So I would say absolutely not. I would say you work within the system we have. You vote for Trump, vote for Republicans, make sure Democrats are dismantled politically. And, the Supreme Court cases, the Heller case, and we're the only country in the world where you can defend yourself in your home with firearms. Other countries do not allow that. But other than that, we cannot take up arms. So I'm 100% against that. I don't believe that the Constitution says that. I think only like in the most dystopian sense, where it's, their, God forbid, gulags or, you know, some kind of dystopian. But Eric Hebert, thank you for the question, and thank you always for your support of this channel. That, you know, got me thinking. Swanee Scotty. After Elizabeth Warren, next we will have Chuck Schumer saying he's part Mexican and Nancy Pelosi is part African American. That's true. I mean, well, that's the thing with Elizabeth Warren. I don't know why she said that. Aside from, I mean, even if she said, well, you know, there are stories in my family, I don't even know, like, I don't know why she would say that. I don't know why that she exactly. So I don't know why she would say that. Thank you, Swanee Scotty. Eric Hebert, thank you as always. Let's just finish this up and we can go ahead. This is a huge, if Peter Strzok, if Paul Sperry is right, Peter Strzok did that, it's game over because he altered evidence. That's a crime. He fabricated evidence. If these people altered 302s, Clinton not only would get indicted, all of these people would go down. This is an enormous, enormous, enormous scandal. It's bigger than anyone could imagine. And I usually don't speak in that manner, but it's bigger than anyone can imagine. And they know it too. They know it too. He definitely hit the pooch. Exactly.
According to the Inspector General, lying to you, lying to investigators for a leak that the Inspector General said was only motivated to preserve his own reputation, having nothing to do with the FBI or the public's right to know.
They're conflicted. I like him very much as a person, but sometimes even good people do things they shouldn't do. I've read the report. I'm not the judge in the case. I'm not the discipline decision maker in the case. I think it is accountability mechanisms working.
Accountability mechanisms working. Accountability mechanisms working. All of these accountability mechanisms are working. Thank you, Donovan. Thank you. Yeah, book 5 will come out soon. Thank you, Donovan Orland. I appreciate that. But let's read that again, and then we'll wrap it up. I don't know if I did it justice this segment, but if what Paul Sperry is saying is accurate, so in a November 3rd, 2016 doc, Strzok created a fake timeline. Of the Winger email recovery in order to leave a misleading record for the file after the fact, for the sole purpose of covering us behind and getting everyone in Comey's inner circle on the same page. Similar to Rice's January 28, 2017 email. But in this case, Rice wasn't a part of an investigation. It was just an absurd email. This guy was part of an active investigation. November 3rd, 5 days later, you have the election, but a couple days prior, you had Comey saying, oh, we found nothing. So the timelines are all messed up to show that people's actions and their sentiments coincided. They acted out of hate. They acted out of extreme, not just bias. We're talking about pure hate. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy of individuals. They conspired. They worked together in various capacities to ensure that Clinton would not get indicted and to ensure that Trump would be undermined through a fabricated probe, that they used a Steele dossier that caused BuzzFeed to sue the DNC. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to have a great evening. We have 605 people watching. Well, I'll say this. We're in the second inning of a 9-inning ball game. It's pretty much just getting started. Paul Sperry doesn't explain the document. He doesn't give a source, link to a source, but when he breaks something, it's like articles are written right after. So either he has a source or he, found out somehow. That's the thing. A little bit different from Q in that you're like, you know who Paul Sperry is, and he has a good track record. He's a human being. Mm-hmm. But Paul Sperry, in November 3rd, 2016, Doc Strzok created a fake timeline of the Wiener email recovery in order to have a misleading record for the file. A misleading record for the file. You're tampering with evidence. I mean, that's not just Bureau of Professional Responsibility. That's straight. That's legal. There are legal statutes. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. After the fact, for the purpose of CYA and getting everyone in Comey's inner circle on the same page. Game over there. Then you have the 302s. Then you have Strzok interviewing Clinton and interviewing Flynn. Notice the difference in outcome there. Ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed evening. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. And to the super chat people, thank you. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for everything. My books are below, and they pretty much foreshadow all of this. And people are still buying them, and I appreciate that. People are still buying But Her Top Secret Emails. And But Her Top Secret Emails has been read by one former Trump advisor and people within the U.S. government. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night. Thank you, everyone. And I will speak to you tomorrow. This is bigger than we could ever imagine. Thank you to the super chat. Thank you to everybody. Have a blessed evening. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you so much.